Okay, Bookie, today I am showing up to show you all of the many different ways that you can promote your community, whether you are using, Go Collab, Circle, Mighty Networks. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. But if you don't have a community yet and you are looking for a great space to start building your community, I do have a full walkthrough training on setting up a collab community for free, zero transaction fees. It's an amazing platform. It's the same platform that I'm using for my community, Magnetic Visibility Circle. And so if you want to start there, go ahead and just check the link in my bio, and not my bio, in my description, and you'll be able to join our community and get access to that training for free, along with additional resources to help you fast track the work that you're doing. So today we're going to talk about promotions, and we're going to run through a few main categories, and that's going to be your link placement, your content call to actions, your automations, resources, your events, and collaboration. Like throwing up extra fingers, like this, throwing up gang sign, gang, gang. Okay, let's get this party started. So the first one is your link placement. So this is exactly how it sounds. It's literally where are we putting your link, and I do have a checklist for you so that you can just go through and you don't have to like think of all the things and try to figure out where to go. I gave you an entire list of places to put your link that'll go along with this training inside of our community in the free Create Your collab community course that we have. It's free for everybody. So go check that out. Go grab your checklist. So here's the thing. You have your community. You want people to join it. So we need to make sure that we're making it as easy as possible for people to even find our community. Unless it's like some exclusive thing, there's no reason why you don't let it be as easy as possible for people to find this space. So we've broken this down into two subcategories. We have social profiles and we have your content. And so for your social profiles, you obviously want your link in bio in your Instagram, right? You want it in your Threads bio, okay? Your TikTok bio, you want that in your YouTube channel links. And if you're going to use your community as your main lead magnet, then you want that link to be the first link for your YouTube channel links. Okay? There's your Facebook profile, your Facebook page, and that can kind of segue off into, I would say, 3 different places, because you could create a Facebook banner, and when people click on the banner, there is usually text that goes along with it. You could put the link there. You could have a pinned post, right, where you're promoting the community, and that way when people land on your profile, the first post that they're always going to see is that post of you promoting the community, and then also adding the link to your bio on your Facebook page. And then there's also LinkedIn. Make sure that you add it there. And any other platforms that you may be using. I am unaware of some of the other ones, like more people are using Substack. So I'm not quite sure if on Substack, if you have like a bio where you could put a link, but if you can, there you go. So under content and websites, right? So we have your YouTube video description. So let that be the first link. Don't make people dig for this link, right? Because if you're drawing people to your community, and we'll talk about this more when we get to like call to actions, but you're driving the traffic from your YouTube videos to your community. So let that be like the first thing that people see in the description box. One of the things that you can do is you can set up your kind of like default description on the back end of your channel. So when you go into your YouTube studio, that is something that you can do in your settings. So then that way, every time you go to upload a video, if you know that like your main call to action is always going to be directing people to your community, then you can just put the link to it there, and then every time you upload a video, it'll automatically be there in the description box. You don't have to run and grab the link every time. It just saves you, saves you a couple of minutes. Then there's also doing the pinned comment on YouTube if you want to take it an extra step. So just in case people maybe miss the description box or they go straight to the comments, that you could still have that pinned comment that directs people to joining your community. There's your website header and footer on like a regular general website. You can put the link in like your email signature. Same thing for your newsletter footer, like at the bottom if you want to have like maybe like a little picture of you and then like join our community, follow me on Instagram, something like that. Your calendar booking page, well, the redirect. So after people book a session with you, a free call, a consultation, whatever, after they've done that, then let the redirect, whether you put it on a page or it just automatically redirect, you can send people to your community or inviting them essentially to join your community. Your lead magnet delivery page, or however you deliver like any other lead magnets that you have, and like, okay, you got this resource, you got this thing, like now come join our community. Now, of course, when I did my breakdown video, it essentially teaching you step by step how to create your collab community. You really don't have to do that if you are still promoting like a lead magnet, because all of your stuff would live in your community as is. And then of course there's like your checkout confirmation page, or even like email sequence. When someone has purchased something, then they're able to join your community like immediately afterwards, right? It's like come to this space to be able to share your insights, your wins, ahas as you are using this thing that you just got, whatever the case may be. So then we have our content call to actions, right? Because this is important. We, need to understand how we are going to be actually inviting people in, not just in placing the links, but like, what are we actually going to be saying? So one of the things that you can do is you can craft what's called like your core phrases. So this is essentially like 1 to 2 invitation phrases you will use consistently. So this sounds like, if I gave like a generic example, like, join our community to learn how to start a YouTube channel for your business. Join our community to learn how to draw abstract art. Join our community to learn how to knit. Join our community to learn how to sell high ticket offers, like whatever it is, okay? So you also, what I think is a great idea is have like resource tied call to actions. Because if you are building your community, at least the way that I'm teaching is, it's not just a community, but you have resources inside. So have your resource call to actions available as well. Sometimes you're going to be creating content and you're going to have a specific resource that would be most useful for people to like use or engage with based off of the content that you just created. And so when you have those call to actions, right, it makes joining the community more appealing. So an example could be like, for me, you're wanting to start your YouTube channel, but you don't know exactly where to start. And you're in a place where you feel stuck in understanding exactly what your brand is and how to break that down into content. But no worries, because inside of the Magnetic Visibility Circle, I have the Magnetic Brand GPT that's going to actually help you hone in on your innate special gifts, talents, and all of those things, so that you have a better understanding of what it is that you do, who it is that you're helping, and all of the amazing things that you bring to the table. And this GPT will help you figure out what your content pillars would be, so that you don't feel boxed in when figuring out what content to create. Something like that, right? So like I share like a specific resource, not just come join our community so you can learn, but like, here's a specific thing that you can get access to based off of what it is that we just talked about, okay? And you would do this in your YouTube videos as well. So then we have add your call to actions to your content, right? So add your community invitation to the end of your YouTube videos, okay? If you're in my community, all right, okay, you know, and to relevant captions as well as posts across the various platforms that you are posting on. What I'm going to recommend is for you to create, I don't care if it's like a Google Doc, a note in your Notes app, whatever, just create your actual like CTAs and then save them in a document. So that way you can very easily just reuse them and you're not always like trying to think about it each and every time. It just makes it really simple to just like copy, paste, pop that in. Okay, so then here's where we're getting a little fun, at least for me, right? You know, Kiana loves the tech. Okay, so automations and comment invitations, okay? So essentially, I think most of us know about the whole ideology where we've seen it on Instagram. Someone says comment a word and then you get an automatic DM from them with the resource or whatever it is that you were requesting access to. So of course you can use a platform like ManyChat. If you are using like Go High Level, then you already have access to the Instagram comment automation within the automation section inside of your High Level. That's what I have set up. It's really easy to use. So then all you really have to do, whether again you're using High Level, you're using ManyChat, whatever, is just create your keyword. Let it be unique enough that it's not something that people would always be using. And then that way on the back end, you then set up your DM automation response. So for me, I chose MVC, right, which stands for Magnetic Visibility Circle, because there's never going to really be a time when someone's going to come on to my content and just randomly say like MVC, right? Like, because MVC is an acronym. Is it an acronym? I think it's an acronym. Y'all don't judge me. So go ahead and set that up if you want to. It's optional. I just find it really useful and helpful. And, you know, we love saving time and making things easier. So set up that automation. Again, it's really easy to do. You can just set up like a, hey, you know, we'd love to have you come into our community. Like, here's the link to come join us. Some people even do like a pre-step where they get the DM, but then it's like in order for them to get the link, they have to click like another button, right? Maybe just to help with making sure that people are actually serious, because we don't want just like any and everybody in our communities. We want people who actually genuinely want to be there. And then, of course, before you set that automation to go live, test it. I make my husband do this. I'm like, Ethan, I need your phone. I need you to like go on my Instagram, go to this post. I need you to comment. You know, so like, hey, put the husbands to work, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with it. So we kind of touched on like resource specific things with resource specific call to actions, but we're just going to dive a little further in when we're doing the resource specific invitations, right? So invite people into your community through the specific resources instead of just saying join my community, right? A concrete benefit converts far better than just like a generic ask, right? Because the people on the other side, even though it's like, okay, join my community, like, okay, great, you have a community. Why the fuck should I care? What's in it for me? Like, how does this benefit me, right? Like, we're human. We want to know what's in it for us, okay? Ain't no shame in it. It is what it is. But because we know what it is, we know to be better and more effective at how we speak about our community and the resources, courses, events, etc. that we have inside. So first is your free resources. And so, right, identify your main free resources inside of your community and then write the call to action inviting people to start with that, right? So Again, make your list. If you have followed along with the trainings that I have on starting your collab community, then you would already have known like what you have for free, what you're gonna have like for paid, if you're gonna have a paid tier, etc. And just break all of those down is, I'm telling you, is gonna save you time in the long run. Then, right, create your call to action for your checklist or resource library, which I definitely recommend having one, right? But the example would be like grab the full checklist inside of the community. I did that at the beginning of this video. I told you that I was going to have a full checklist for you to be able to use so that you didn't have to think of all of this on your own and try to figure it out, right? I didn't just say, come join our community, it's amazing. Come join our community, there's amazing resources. There are. Join my community. But I'm letting you know that there's a specific resource available to you that is most directly relatable to what it is that we are talking about here on this piece of content, okay? There's also your start here section, right? So you can create a call to action for your start here section. So the example, right? Start inside the start here section to map out your next steps. Now wouldn't say it like that. Like obviously this is like a very generic example. However, right? Start inside your start here section to map out your first week of healthy eating habits or something, right? What is it that the people want? Speak to that. And then there's also the premium upgrade. So like I have that, right? So I have an additional tier for my membership. So I have great stuff for free. And then I have like the next upgrade, which is magnetic visibility circle premium. And so that just unlocks like a lot more resources and things like that, calls, events, etc. And so if you're going to do something similar to that, right? So you can create a call to action for your premium upgrade. So the example would be unlock the premium resources when you're ready to go deeper. Again, generic, however, right? Unlock the premium resources when you are ready to lock in and go all in on your YouTube, your visibility, and your community. Something, okay? You get what I'm saying. And of course, these call to actions can be reused in video, and not just YouTube. I mean, your stories, your reels, shorts, TikToks, whatever, and also your posts, your carousels, your long form Facebook posts. I would assume Substacks, like blog posts, right? But they're you have them and they're ready to go. This next one is a really good one, okay? Invitations for community events. So doing events can help create like more momentum for your community, and it gives people a reason to essentially join instead of later, right? Because if you're doing, coaching calls or specific workshops, classes, guest expert training, like guest experts are coming in, like that's not something that people can just join in on whenever. Right? So what you want to do is you want to decide which events that you are going to be inviting people to. Now, again, we walked through this when we set up the Collab community. So if you went through that, you already know what your events are going to be, at least for like the next month, right? And then write a simple invitation call to action for the event types. And so you could break that down between the free events that you are doing, if you're doing anything free for your community, like a monthly call or a monthly workshop or something. And then if you have like another tier, like I do premium, and it's like, hey, we have like this thing coming up, you can join in on that. Have the call to actions ready to go for each of those types. You want to make sure that you are mentioning the events in relevant content, but I will say just be somewhat mindful the evergreen content that you create. Okay, you see where we're going with that? You say, okay, YouTube videos. Okay, I personally, if it were me, you didn't ask, but here we are. If it were me, I would keep more of the resource type call to actions for my videos. And then anything that is events, I would do posts. I would do posts on my YouTube page because you can do posts as well. Mention events also inside of your community announcements. And I know it's kind of like, well, why would I do that inside of my community if I'm trying to bring people to the community? Because if you are doing an event that's for the upgraded thing and you already have people in the community, bring those people into the paid tier of the community. You see what I'm saying? Like, we still look, while this is all great and yes, we want people coming into the community, I also want you to still make some monies. I still want you to get to that money. And make sure that you use urgency, not fake urgency, use real urgency, okay? By including like dates or limited spots. So some example call to actions for you would be join the community to come to the next live workshop. We're hosting a live session inside the community this week. Come join us. And join now so you don't miss the next community call. We're going to be talking about X, Y, and Z, right? So again, these are generic, but you would beef them up to match whatever it is that you are doing within your own community. And then last, but most certainly not least, Bookie, is we have collaboration and visibility actions, okay? So be helpful and visible where your ideal members already are like hanging out and spending time. So I would suggest joining like niche adjacent communities. So like business, marketing, content creation, Instagram, like whatever, like, and those would be great for me, right? So that's just an example. Like if I'm teaching YouTube and visibility and stuff, yes, it would make sense for me to then join communities that talk about business, that talk about entrepreneurship, that would even maybe talk about Instagram because people are, creating reels for Instagram. And I'm like, hey, you can be doing this on YouTube too. Let me teach you a little something, right? So it's not about going in there and just trying to like get people. You want to be a valuable member because what happens is, right, when we're engaging in other communities, you're leaving thoughtful comments for people. You're sharing valuable insights. You're answering questions. You add links when it's appropriate if you're allowed to, but at the same time, and do this per like the platform that you yourself are using. Because when you have a community, your community is linked to your profile. So school does this where if you click on someone's profile within school, it'll show you at the top if that person also has their own school community, and then you could go check it out. Same thing with Go Collab. You click on someone's profile, it will show you if they have their own community, and then you could click and you could check it out. So I would say prioritize doing this in communities on the platform that your community is built on. But nonetheless, even if not, then you could make sure that your community link is attached to your profile in some kind of way, maybe via, if they have it to where you can put like a website link or something, then maybe that's a great place for you to do that. So when you go into these communities, you want to make sure that you are asking not asking conversations, you're starting conversations, right? So ask questions that just like naturally highlight your partner with people, right? Maybe you do this like once a month, like partner with people, see if you could do live trainings in theirs. They come into yours and do live trainings in yours. Because again, if you're joining niche adjacent communities, then that means that the owners of those communities would also maybe benefit from coming into your community and being a valuable member. Something that I forgot to put up here, but it is in the checklist. But something else is, if it feels right for you, enabling affiliates, right? If you have like a paid community or a paid tier, whatever the case may be, like, then it's a great incentive for your members to talk about your community, their experience there, like the results that they're getting, how they like it, and then being able to bring like their online friends or in real life friends with them into the community as well. And then, they get you slide them a little something, something. Okay? Slide them a little something. And then there is lastly like amplifying your social proof. So as people are in your community growing, winning, getting results, like talk about that. Now I'm not saying like go screenshot they shit and go blast it on the internet. Let's have a little bit of decorum. I'm I'm talking shit. I know I've done that. Nonetheless, right? Share the stories at least. At least tell the stories. Like, oh my gosh, this person in my community, they've been doing da 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 da. Make sure that you paint the picture because people are so tired of just hearing like these like blanket general testimonials like, oh my god, my person came into my community, they made $10,000 in a week. Like, people are just tired of that. Like, what was the story? Like, is it that they came into the community and they had already made $9,000? Like, we don't know. Okay, but I'm just saying the people, the internet streets is talking, and the internet streets is saying they tired. So just be mindful of that. But yeah, share the wins, share testimonials, member results, all of those things. And then, of course, again, if you followed along with the training that I put, your community will be public anyways, which helps with like the Google indexing because that's another way to get people into your community. But they would be able to see that. And then also based off of our training, if you had the categories set up for like your wins, then like that's a great thing because people would be able to come in. They could click on the category for wherever, maybe like your wins, proof of magic, which is what I use, and then they'll just see like a thread of like all of this stuff, and it might entice them to also want to come join the party. So that's it. Again, there's a full checklist waiting for you inside of my community magnetic visibility circle, inside of the start your collab community portal. Again, if you are looking for a place to actually build your community, or maybe you're just not happy with the one that you have, then I want you to watch this video next where I'm going to actually break down for you the platform that I'm using and why I absolutely love it and prefer it over every other platform, including School, which I moved my community off of. No shade to School. School is cool. Collab is better. I'll see you over there.